In this video, I'll share a trading view indicator that I believe every new trader should use. Now, if you know me and you know this channel, you know that I'm a big believer that new traders or anybody should be able to pull capital from the crypto market on just naked charts. But when you use indicators, it kind of gives you additional superpowers, right? This indicator is a little bit different because this indicator, I believe, will help a new trader get to becoming a better trader really quickly, okay? So instead of having you wait in suspense, I'll share how you find this indicator. Just go to Indicators and Trading View. And then what you want to type is multi. And the indicator is multi-time period charts, okay? Now when I click on this, you'll notice that on my chart now, I'm looking at ONT BTC on the 1 hour candles, okay? And what happened here is that you'll notice that there's a series of boxes. There's a red box, a green box, a green box, a red box, right? Now, what these boxes are is this is highlighting that day's price action. So this here, this red box, as we look at this first red box here, this is the price high and this is the price low. And because it's red, that means it closed as a down day, okay? Here, this day is the price low and price high, and then it's green because it closed as, you know, it closed higher than it opened, obviously. Same with this day as well. But what I like about this indicator, there's a couple things and why I think new traders should use it, is it works on any time frame. So I can be scalping, for instance, on the 15-minute charts here, and I can see the previous day's action, right? So I can see, and of course I can look down here, right? I can look down here and I can actually go here and I can say, okay, well, you know, what's the time, right? And I can look at this, or I could just... And you won't need this after a while because as you get better at trading, you'll just naturally be able to pick out these time frames. But if you're new, this will help train your mind and train you on a subconscious level to start thinking about these larger time frames. And I've said this in many other videos that no matter what you're trading, if you're swing trading or scalping or long term, understanding the actual trend of that asset and what it's in is really important because you want to go with the other traders. You want other traders to be at your back pushing, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing, what type of trade you're doing. So what this indicator does on every time frame, and we can go to the 5-minute, for instance, and you see on the 5-minute, if I'm doing a quick scalp and I want to maybe scalp this move right here in the 5-minute, you can see here, I can see the previous day's high and the previous day's low. I can also see that the previous day closed red. So this is, like I said, this is one of those indicators that just having it on your chart, it's a shortcut for the type of stuff you should be thinking about anyways, inherently as you look at a chart, okay? It's helping you get there. And to make this point really clear why it's important, these highs and these lows play into support and resistance. And look at what happened on this run up here, right? So people got excited about ONT, and you'll see here it ran up. And what did it do? Well, it hit resistance here at yesterday's high. Now, keep in mind, resistance is a range, okay? Resistance isn't a hard, fast brick wall. It's a range. Now, of course, you could get this by just not having this indicator on, right? And just being able to read support and resistance, right? Of course you could get this. Let me turn this off. So of course you could get this just by looking at support and resistance lines and everything else. But what this gives you is that you can see the actual day range the previous day, okay? That's why I like this, because what it does as a new trader is it visually forces you to think about larger time frames, okay? And it doesn't matter what you're trading, always understanding the larger time frame is important. And you're seeing right now, well, let me ask you a question, and you probably can't answer, but let's say that you could, right? There's resistance. Obviously, it's been rejected here. Price has been rejected in this range, right? So what do you think is going to happen when this area right here gets approached, right? What do you think is going to happen? Probably the same thing here, right? What do we want to see happen here? Now, I should mention, full disclosure, we have multiple long positions in ONT, and we've scalped this move here. So I just exited our last position on the scalp on this move up here. So we scalp and we're in ONT, and I'm still long in ONT. So it's something that I think is still a long play, right? And this is even more obvious. Of course, you would get this on the daily. So if I go to the day, right? The day, what's nice about the day is when you look at the day candles, is that this shows the weekly price action, right? So now you're seeing the weekly price action. But if we go to the actual, so of course you get this information if you look at the daily chart, okay? But I can be looking at the 1 hour chart and get the daily information without having to try to figure out, okay, where did that day start? And look what I can see on the 1 hour chart, right? I can see that this day, right, this day here opened, it closed here, or it got to a price high here, but it closed up. This day as well, and you can see the huge price movement. Of course, you can see this in the price action anyways, okay? I'm not going to say that again. That's obvious. But look at what you can see here as you kind of have these boxes here. You can see the retracement. It stopped, and this is where you'd want to look at some rejection and everything else, but it stopped here, right? So it actually stopped short of where it opened the previous day, and that's probably about, I would assume, yeah, so 6%. So I would assume, and if we do the actual number, 32%, so 35%, so that's 5%. So the 2 days it retraced back. I should know the number, so I should be able to do the math in my head. 20%, right? Roughly 20% in 2 days. All right. So this, you can just visually see this here looking at lower time frames. That's why I say it's training your mind to think about these things anyways, right? Because in addition to drawing support and resistance, of course you'd be drawing support and resistance in this area. The day open, the day close, the price high, the price low is important in that, because bots use that, other systems use that, people look at that, longer term traders look at that. So many things come in to factor with that, okay? Now it looks like it's going to push through. So it pushed through the previous day high, right? The previous price high. So once again, what do we think is going to happen here? Well, I would assume, based on just trading and experience, what we want to see actually is the same type of thing, okay? One of two things, I should say. If we want to stay long in this, right, we want to see something like this type of price action, where basically it hits here and it's going to get maybe rejected, but then it gains strength, and it gains enough strength to actually push through. We want that backed up by volume, right? And keep in mind, and I'll just mention this, I know I'm taking this on a little bit of a tangent, but keep in mind that you would expect here, because this asset that we're looking at, ONT, if I go to the 1 day, it really hasn't traded a lot above this. I mean, it opened way up here, right? And then there's a huge sell-off. But it hasn't traded a whole lot above here. So there is capital. I should make this bigger so you can actually see this. There is capital, all right? And this is why it's good to see these boxes. There's capital trapped up here, okay? And your expectation, if you're going to scalp this, or you're going to still be long, or you're going to, whatever trade you're going to do on this, your expectation is that there's going to be a heavy fight all the way up to here. And then once it gets past here, there is kind of an open sky opportunity there. But there's going to be a heavy fight because there's capital trapped above here, okay? So what you're looking for is heavy volume. You're looking for volume to back up this move, because both the sellers and the buyers have to participate, all right? So this move here is a good sign on the 1 hour with that volume. That volume's pretty high. But that volume, the reason why it's high is because both the sellers and the buyers participated. And if we turn this off, I'm going way beyond this indicator here. We turn this off, you'll see there is a rejection there, right? So those are the actual sellers participating. And then obviously the buyers were able to continue pushing up the price, right? But I'll go back to this indicator. If you're a new trader, using this indicator on all your charts will start training your mind to actually think in the larger time frames. And that's so important, Because when you're drawing your support and resistance, when you're thinking about where do I enter a trade or where do I exit a trade, you know that this is a resistance point. Of course, you would know that by looking at the chart anyways, but you know this because it's easily drawn here because price has got to these two high levels here, right? So you just know that this whole range is going to be a resistance point. And it might turn into support as it goes past that. So that's why I like this indicator. I think it's if you're a new trader and you're looking for like what indicator should you use, this is a simple indicator. It's not, you don't have to learn any lines or anything else. You just have to look at the box, and you just have to, and it just helps you really see where has the last couple days of price action been, and it works on every time frame. On the 10-minute, you'll see here, shows me the daily price action. So this is pretty awesome. So I like it a lot. And eventually you won't need to use it anymore, right? Because you'll pull up a chart and you'll instantly be able to glance at it and see, okay, well, here's the day, right? You'll be able to see here's the day, here's where it starts, here's where it's end. But sometimes it does help just to kind of have that visual representation there, just so you don't have to think about it. So it's not one that I still use just because I try to limit the amount of indicators I use. But if you're a new trader, I would highly suggest that this is one that you start using because it starts training your mind thinking about the right things no matter what time frame you're trading. All right, so that's all in this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. You can join the Discord group. There's links to tools I use as well down below. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.